All right, so we're going to factor the difference of two squares. And what that means is the squares are like square root numbers. So numbers that come out clean if they're in square root, kind of like square root of 36 equals 6, square root of 9 equals 3, etc., etc. Okay, that's what that means. So if we look at this, we have to factor it into two sets of parentheses. So you notice how there was normally trinomials. We usually deal with a middle number here, like 5x. It doesn't, these don't have centers because they're both perfect squares. So we can split this first one. We have a sign of each, a plus sign and a minus sign, and then we have to find the square root of the number. So the square root of 64 is an 8, so 8 times 8. So x plus 8, x minus 8, there's no center terms because this positive 8x and this negative 8x would cancel out. So that's why it's just these two as your answer. So it gets pretty simple. So we find that we take an x and an x, we get a plus sign and a minus sign, and the square root of 25 is a 5. So the center terms would cancel out. It doesn't get any harder as we throw in coefficients because we're throwing in perfect square coefficients because we are factoring two squares. So we can split this perfectly just like it. Splitting 4 perfectly, the square root of 4 is 2, so a 2 and a 2. The square of an x squared is an x and an x, a minus, a plus. 25s is a 5 and a 5, and split the y's, a y and a y. Here, we split the 4 perfectly, 2 and 2. We split the y's perfectly, y and y. We give a plus, we give a minus, and the square root of a 1 is a 1 times a 1. They're like the mirror image of each other, except for the signs are different. We can look at them backwards. This is just a different way of looking at it. So when we look at this, we have 11, 11 minus plus m, m. Done. Same thing here. Splitting 64, 8. 8 times 8, an x, a minus, a plus, square root of 9, a 3, split the y's, a y, and a y. Looking at the lower last two, 36. Splitting 36, 6, split at x to the 4, x2, minus, plus, y4 is just y2, y2. Last one, splitting 25, 5, splitting m6, 3, minus, plus, splitting 16, 4, splitting y6, y with a little 3, a y, and a little 3. And as always, this is Miss Bobby, and I love math. Diet Coke and CrossFit.